Hey everyone, it's me Joji. Now anime, I love anime. From Pokemon to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, there's just so many good animes out there. But there's another series that stuck to me as much as Pokemon has, and that's Gundam. There's just something about giant mechs battling it out that was always inspiring to me. Maybe it's because of the old kaiju movies or Ultraman. But I always loved Gundam for some reason because of all the amazing fights. Even in the older stuff, the fights were crazy. I remember my introduction into Gundam being Mobile Suit Gundam Fighter G, where essentially they were fighting for their countries respectively, and it was crazy. It was so much fun to see each one of them fight it out, the different types that were from each country. My first figure was a shiny Master Gundam, and I loved the heck out of that thing, although my parents threw it away. So around the time that Iron-Blooded Orphans came out, I really got back into it because of the series. So I looked around to see what Gundam stuff there was around, and I found Gunpla. Now for those of you that don't know what Gunpla is, essentially it's just an abbreviation of Gundam plastic models. And that's what it is, it's just a plastic model kit that you have to build. And I have a lot of them, and some of them are backlogged. So with this whole kind of quarantine going, I had extra free time and decided, hey, why not spend some of that free time finishing my backlog? So I decided to get back into it by building a high-grade Gundam Astray No-Name. Now this is a Gundam from a series called Gundam Build Divers, where it kind of mimics real life. And there's these kids that are literally building these kits. So they kind of know about the anime in some sorts. It's probably like a far future where they take these kits and build them, and there's some kind of electronics or something that make it actually usable, kind of like VR or something like that. But it's like a crazy concept to think that someday we'll be able to build these kits and we'll be able to palette them, make them our own. Like some of those like sets are amazing. Like the imagination that some of these kids have, I'm super amazed. I'm still kind of confused as to why we haven't invested in this kind of technology. I mean, we could benefit for having actual Yu-Gi-Oh battles, actual Pokemon battles, and pilot Gundams. Come on, someone has to get up there and make this an actual VR reality. A VRR? I don't know. Anyways, without spoiling too much, the No-Name essentially is the bad guy's Gundam throughout the first season of Build Divers. So, as you'll see in a bit, it's super edgy. This guy built this thing essentially to win Gundam battles. Now, prior to Build Divers, there was a series called Build Fighters where essentially your Gundams would actually get damaged. So the actual plastic would somehow break. It would, I guess, make the actual plastic model, instead of you jacking into VR, the actual model itself, you would just kind of observe them fight in a virtual setting. And that's how we get the Gundam Astray. Essentially, this thing fought so many battles, and the guy like put all his effort into making this essentially a winner. But this edgelord of a design is one of the best I've seen. Honestly, one of the best Astrays I've seen. And it really gives me that Gundam Exia repair vibes. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and speed build this, and then go ahead and get into a review of the actual model. So here's the final build. This is No-Name's de-extension mode. Seriously, Japan? De-extension? How did that get through PR or anything? I mean, I wish I was making this up. It's actually called de-extension. I mean, we've seen weird stuff from Japan. Maybe in translation it got lost. I don't even know if they say it in the anime or anything, but it's in the instructions. De-extension. That's what it is. This is de-extension mode. Jokes aside, it's actually pretty solid of a thing. The joints honestly are really tight on this thing. It is a plastic model, so you gotta be careful. I'm always worried about moving these flaps around. I feel like they were gonna break easily. But yeah, really great model. Easy design. It is a high grade model, so the high grades are usually a bit easier to build than most of the other ones. But yeah, you don't want to manhandle this thing way too much. It's obviously still a plastic model, and there's a lot of like thin pieces that you could easily break off, like these things on its head. Maybe even these flaps. Again, like I said, they're not on the best joints. They do move side to side, but if you try like folding them, it's better to fold them at the top here than actually grabbing this part, which I shouldn't be doing here. But yeah, it's an awesome design. Honestly, I love it. But yeah, this guy has so many awesome poses you can set up. It's a Gundam model. It should be able to pose. So you can set up awesome aerial shots. You can even set it to pose just on its ground. And it has a lot of good poses even in this mode. But yeah, when I said mode, there's actually 2 other modes. So we're gonna go ahead and show you what the B Smart Gun mode is. And here is the B Smart Gun mode. Now this thing is obviously larger than the Gundam itself, so most of these poses the gun is going to be perpendicular to it. I think this mode makes this very heavy on one side, so definitely this is better suited for aerial poses. And he has one final mode. It's X-Connect mode. Seriously, Japan? X-Connect? B Smart Gun? De-extension? It's almost like they suck at naming things in English.
Why are we still here?
Anyways, let's go ahead and switch it over to the X-Connect mode, and I think it's one of the best modes out of all 3 of these. And here we have the X-Connect mode. Honestly, I kind of have to pull this back a bit just so you can get the shot in. But this does free out both of its hands for movement, so you can actually pose these a little bit better than you would have with the de-extension and the B Smart Gun modes. I mean, this mode is meant for flying, so obviously you have to pose this guy in the air to get the best effect. This is honestly an awesome kit, and I would suggest anyone who loves Gundam definitely go out and get this. The asymmetrical design on this thing is just awesome on its own. I really like the design on this thing just because of the asymmetry. It's a shame it only showed up twice, once in each season of Gundam Build Divers. The first one obviously being its main introduction, and the second just being a cameo where it was helping out the protagonists. So what do you guys think of the Gundam Astray No-Name? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Let me know down in the comments. Sorry this isn't the usual Pokemon video I do on the channel, but with the recent pandemic, it's been a little bit harder to get Pokemon cards. Even some of the local stuff that was supposed to release on the 27th was not stocked at any of my local stores, so I have to order it online and hopefully it gets here by the end of the week or so. But until then, I've decided to maybe build some stuff, record myself building it, and if you guys like it, hey, maybe you'll get into Gundam as well. But anyways, thumbs up if you liked the video, and sub if you loved it, and don't forget to ring that bell so you can get more videos on Pokemon and anime in general, hopefully in the future. And as always guys, thanks for watching.